When I tell people that I'm teaching myself UX design and I have a goal for the upcoming year to switch my career from print design into product design in the tech field, all these questions start coming up like, oh my God, you have a full-time job, you have a child, you have a house that you're fixing up, you have a fiance and a relationship that you're in. Where do you find the time to do this around all that? Time management is a skill to learn. We don't just wake up and have it one day. And there are many, many best practices out there. You just need to find what works best for you. If this is your first time here, my name is Melanie Dunn. I make videos on design, the lifestyle of a designer, and basically anything that I'm interested in. These are my 5 recommendations on best practices that I have found that work best for me in juggling learning a new career field and also juggling all of my life's responsibilities and current career that I have. Number 1, starting off strong, make a plan for the week. So for this, I usually start off on Sundays and I make a plan for my week. And it doesn't have to be a hard structured plan that if I don't meet those goals, I fail, but just ideas, what do I want to accomplish in the week? And I keep a calendar, and that also gives you a bird's eye view over your week to be able to be okay, what can I accomplish and when? If my Tuesday is really full between work, maybe I might have meetings, maybe the weather is nicer, so we want to get our son outside, maybe my fiance is recording, I can see when I can do stuff and be okay, maybe when he's recording I can do stuff, but then Wednesday he's not recording, so maybe he can do a little bit more with our son, and maybe I can do a little bit more with pursuing a book that I want to read to sharpen a skill that I'm trying to learn. As well, I'm also trying to network now and go to Q&A sessions and webinars and stuff that people in the UX industry are putting on. So it really helps to have something that I'm planning out ahead of time and I can be okay, this Q&A is gonna be Thursday at 8 p.m. and it's gonna be an hour, and if we get our son down a little bit early, then I'll have enough time to prepare for that. So maybe earlier in the day we have to run him a little bit more so he gets weared out a little bit faster and can go to bed easier. It's just stuff like that, planning out your week. Number 2, utilize breaks at work. So this one kind of is gonna be depending on where you work. So if you work at some place that only gives you a 30-minute break, you're not gonna have that much time to eat and do stuff. If you work at a job that has a longer break or no cap to the amount of time that you can take a break, this might be easier. But what I have found very effective to utilizing the time that I have in the day is instead of doom scrolling through social media when I'm on my break, I use that time to read an article about UX design, or I might watch a video somebody put up about UX design, or I might open up Adobe XD or Figma and play around with a function I watched a video on that I want to try to figure out how to do for myself. Or maybe you're taking someone's course online and you have mobile app access to watching the videos on it. So you can take your lunch break and watch the videos and take notes, and then when you go home you have the time to just do the projects or whatever. Number 3, spend energy wisely. So this year I've really been working at myself and moving towards doing the core tasks that I have been employed to do, and not jumping on things that I see that I can do, but it's not necessarily what I was employed to do. This I feel is really hard for a creative person. And it's actually what led towards my interest in UX design. Because over the years of my current employment, I found myself constantly trying to fix problems and writing processes to fix things in the department and really pushing the company to try to do these other things because it'll fix problems and it'll make things more efficiently and whatever. But that's not why I was employed there. So I've really been pushing myself to take that energy and that time back and like stop spinning that hamster wheel and start directing that energy towards my career, towards my growth, towards the things I want to learn. And doing that, I found actually at the end of the day, there's not as much burnout. So after I have a meal and like get some water and like maybe like decompress for 20 minutes, I'm good to go on like the videos I want to watch, the projects I want to do, the books I want to read, the articles I want to read, the information that I want to absorb. Because, you know, even though like I'm not physically moving around for my job, I work at a computer, I'm mentally like doing a lot. So being able to balance that has really helped. You know, like your goal should be yourself, and me doing all that extra stuff for the company doesn't really help myself. It helps the company, but it doesn't really get me ahead where I want to be for my career and for my personal growth. Number 4, save information for quick access, for both when it is needed and when time allows for it. So this one, I feel like anyone trying to learn anything can really take inspiration from this notion. And actually, I feel like the company Pinterest was bloomed out of this idea. We have so much information online that we can access that we can like learn anything online. Like my fiance learned how to change an electrical plug just from YouTube, where many years ago you would have had to go to school for that, or like have that information handed down in your family to you or something. And on the flip side of that, we have so much information that it's really easy to lose that information, which is kind of sad. Like, how many times have you caught yourself thinking, oh my God, I need to find that article that I read about that thing one time, and then you start searching and you just can't find it for the life of you. So what I do, actually, I have a bookmark on my web browser, and I also have a Google Docs that I just like save links to it and save information, and I'll jot notes down in the Google Docs. I'll like bookmark like reference articles or something. And it's just a way for me to quickly go back and access that information when I need it. Either if I'm working on something and I'm like, oh, I remember I saw this video on how to do this, so I want to go back and refresh on it. Or just like if I see something that I want to go back and really dive into to learn later on, but when I saw it, I don't necessarily have the time. I actually make a use of this a lot now recently because I'm done with the Google course, so I'm jumping headfirst into like the additional self-learning I need to do. I've joined LinkedIn groups, I've joined Facebook groups, and in those groups, people are sharing a lot of great information and like tutorials, and like there's even like whole like, this is how I self-taught myself UX design. I'm going to share this resource with you guys. And there'll be like a list of things. So I collect all those resources that I'm finding in one place. And then when my schedule is at the point that it's now time for education, I have a quick resource to go in and just start learning. Number 5, establish routines. This one is really helpful when you have a young child, but I feel like it could also be helpful just like towards yourself as an individual. But establishing hard routines through your day that you stick to really helps you stick on track. I wake up at this time, I have coffee at this time, my work schedule is this time to this time. After work, I have this time to this time is play with my child schedule. At this time is his dinner, this time is his bed, this time to this time is cook dinner for me and my fiance, and then we eat. This time to this time is me time. If you can break your day up like that and really stick to it, it really helps stay on track, especially when you have young kids. Because if you diverge from a schedule too much, like they might not want to eat when you give them dinner, and then it's like a 3-hour thing of like, oh, come on, honey, you gotta eat. And they're like, no. And you're just like, come on, honey. And then like, no. And then you're just like, here's the airplane. And then the fork is across the room. And keeping to routines like that really helps you know when is the time to start like really trying to get your kid to like expel the energy. So that way when bedtime rolls around, they're not like a hell demon like, no, I'm not going to bed and you're not going to make me go to bed. And then you're wasting like 4 hours of your night trying to get your kid to go to bed. And then when they finally do go to bed, you're exhausted. And as an added recommendation, and actually this one is like super important to me, learn to recognize when burnout is approaching and like really push yourself to put the crap down and rest. As a design manager, I do see people get sucked up in the hustle culture and they're like, well, I have all this work, and if I work off hours, if I just push through, like I'm gonna shine as an employee. And it just breaks my heart because like they're just burning out. Cause like it doesn't matter, dude, if you work 9 to 6, if you work 9 to midnight, like you get paid the same amount of money. And unfortunately, it usually ends up being that because they're so worn down and burnt out, they're not able to keep up with their tasks. Like they think like they're accomplishing something, but like they're just slowly chipping away at their self. And then like it just all comes to head and they just like, they burn out. And you're not able to do it. And it's not healthy mentally and it's not healthy physically. You just really need to take the time to rest when you need it. And you can see it too when people are trying to learn stuff. Like you get excited and you're just like, I need to learn this. I need to learn this fast because I want to get a job. And it just becomes this spiral and it tends to like lead to people like getting overwhelmed and quitting when all they need to do is rest and like recharge and then come at it again, you know? Plus also like when you wear yourself down like that, you're not really like holding the information in or like doing a good job at your projects. There's a balance to things, you know? And you just gotta be able to like recognize when that wall is coming and just like take a step back and breathe. And those were my recommendations on helping with effective time management when you're trying to learn UX design and juggle like everything else in your life. I hope this video was helpful for someone out there. And if you have anything you want to say, or if you have anything you want me to expand on, leave it in the comments. Also, if you just want to say hi, that would be cool too. I totally would love to talk and network with other people transitioning their career from something into UX design. You're all cool people. And I'm an island of one in my friend circle with this, so there's that. If you found this video helpful, please like. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. That would be cool. I'll catch you in the next one. And if you watch this when I released it, I hope you had a great holiday. If you watch this in the future though, there's more holidays in the future, so I hope those holidays were cool too. You're all cool people. Bye-bye.